Hello, good morning, and this is Joy News Desk. I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson. Coming up this hour, government uncovers a cartel exploiting Ghana's scholarship system to siphon millions of cedis in public funds.
Legislation, as I understand it, public input is important, input of stakeholders is important.
Also on our desk, Ghana Police Service interdicts officer filmed brutally assaulting a journalist during the chaotic Aboma North parliamentary rerun. We have more from the police statement, and President Mahama commends Mrugu overlord for his willingness to make concessions to end the Boko conflict. Details of these and more coming up with me, Mamiesi Nyamiche Thompson, plus some business updates as well. Stay for details. Well, let's start from education. Parliament has suspended further consideration of the Ghana Scholarship Authority Bill 2025, only mounting public concern. The decision, announced during Thursday's clause-by-clause debate, comes after strong calls from the Citizens Coalition for broader stakeholder engagement. Now, Education Minister Haruna Iddrisu says the move follows advice from the presidency to pause the process for further consultations.
The Office of the President drew my attention this morning to two important petitions, one from the Coalition of Civil Society Organizations in Education led by Kofi Asare and the NUC's president. Mr. Speaker, I engaged both individuals before coming upon this house this afternoon. Mr. Speaker, legislation, as I understand it, public input is important, input of stakeholders is important, and we want a scholarship authority bill that serves the people of Ghana well. The chairman, even at committee level, Mr. Speaker, if you recall, your good self, you were present, even questioned whether we didn't want National Union of Ghana students to be on the governing board. We exchanged it and said that maybe the student loan trust could also be allowed to be on this board. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm consulting further with the stakeholders, and if I can indulge you, we can look at the other clauses whilst I still engage and come back. But the government is open to accommodating.
Well, let's engage Dr. Peter Anti, Executive Director of the Institute for Education Studies, on the subject. Mr. Anti, we're grateful for your time on our desk.
Thank you.
Well, this is good news for you, is it not?
Sure. One of the things that we always admire is when issues are raised in terms of policy decisions and the policy makers are able to accommodate us and give us the opportunity to also share our opinion. And then we co-create the policy or the law, whatever it is that we are putting together. So that at the end of the day, it will be a reflection of the aspirations of the people in its entirety.
Well, what are the the clauses? Some issues came up about the clauses. One especially including the National Union of Students in the bill. What other concerns did you have initially?
Yeah, I think that is a very important. You are working on scholarship schemes for students, and therefore you need them on the board. I think it's a good call that we've made, and we believe that that will be taken into consideration. The other issues are handing over the entirety of the process in the hands of the authority. I think that is the same challenge that we have, because if you are allowing the politicians and those that have been nominated or appointed by the politician to be on the board, then it means that at the end of the day, that issue of opaqueness, lack of transparency, and all the other challenges where political patronage and all those things would be still in place. And that is why we are thinking that there should be some sort of decentralization. I know that it's going to be difficult to ask the authority to decentralize 100% their mandate to the universities where the scholarships are actually executed. So what we can do is to do some sort of a hybrid 60-40, where the universities handle 60% of the scholarship applications and everything. And then the authority sets the criteria. The university handles 60% of it. And then 40% is left with the authority for government scholarship, for government programs and other things to also be taken care of. Again, we are also looking at an appeal system that is independent of the authority, so that you have, if a student is denied the scholarship, the student can appeal to an independent body who will go through a verification process to make sure that the reason or the rationale for the denial is purely on merit basis and not because somebody is not a political or somebody is aligned to a particular political party. So these are the issues that we are thinking that the minister should take a look at again and then incorporate in the bill.
But have you already started engagements with him on the issues you've raised?
Yes, I'm aware that there will be a meeting next week. We are in touch among ourselves. I mean the civil society organizations, and we are hoping that we'll be able to put together these ideas and present it coherently to the appropriate authority.
Right, Peter, stay with me. I'll come back to you. There are more issues coming up in the Education Ministry. Well, the Ministry of Education has announced reforms to Ghana's tertiary education charter system. University charters, which previously had indefinite or loosely defined terms, will now be capped at 10 years. Sector Minister Haruna Idrisu says the move is designed to improve academic accountability, enforce standards, and enable regular institutional reviews.
Through the communication broadcasting session, and I think that I have been a strong advocate in my life in Parliament. Ghana does not have a broadcasting law. That is not good enough. We should have a broadcasting legal framework and law that defines the parameters of broadcasting in Ghana, that distinguishes between a public broadcaster, a commercial broadcaster, and a community broadcaster, so that we can monitor. This government will not interfere with media pluralism. We will respect and uphold the highest tenets of media freedom in order that we would give unfettered opportunity to the expression of freedom of expression and others. I'm particularly encouraged when I saw that the young ones are exposed to studio learning process. Apart from the moot court that my senior already took me through, I was asking whether you train people both in civil and criminal law. But one, my Lord, is your chair of council. I can understand what the moot court does. I'm sure he award the marks there.
Well, Peter, you heard the Education Minister capping the university charter at 10 years. What do you make of that?
On the face of it, it seems okay. Let me put it that way. We will need to delve deeper to find out the rationale. I think that what he's trying to do is to ensure that when you are giving the charter, there is an accountability, so that within the period that you need to renew or apply for a renewal, the mandate and the criteria or setup that have been given you would have fulfilled it. And that's why I think on the face of it, it looks okay. We will need to delve deeper into it and understand where he is actually coming from, since this is a new proposition that he's bringing on board.
Do you think this is in any way going to affect institutional autonomy or even the standards that they set that make them keep those standards within a 10-year period?
I don't think so. So I'm looking at it from a perspective of going to renew your driver's license. What is the essence of that? The essence of that is to ensure that you meet certain criteria, you go and do checks with your eye and other things. So when you have been given your charter, there are certain things that you're supposed to do. You are given you have a mandate that you need to execute. Within that period, are you going according to the mandate that you've been given, or you are drifting away from the mandate? And that is why I talk about the accountability measure.
Okay.
So I think in his mind, he's looking at how can these institutions be accountable to the system, so
Right.
that you don't have a forever charter that after you've been given the charter, you go and do whatever it is that you want because you have been given opportunity. I'm thinking he's looking at a situation whereby when an institution drifts away from its mandate and is not producing the quality that the institution needs, the country needs, there will be a measure to bring them back on track. I think this is what he's thinking. But as I said, this is early days yet. We'll have to still engage and find out what really the rationale is from his perspective, and then we can do a proper policy analysis. But from where I'm standing, I think it's okay on the face value.
Well, I get you, but how does this impact on old universities like the University of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technologies, which been in, existence for so many years?
Yes. So that is why I'm saying that we will need to get the entirety of the policy proposal, the idea from the ministry. And by this, let me even say, you see, we don't have the culture of publishing our policy propositions on our various ministries' websites and other things. These things should have been published for people to understand where the minister. Most of the time, these policy propositions are announced by ministers doing at various platforms, and then the debate begins. So most of the times we don't even debate from a point of knowledge. We debate from a point of information that is given by the policymaker. And I think going forward, the ministries like education and others should cultivate the habit of publishing their policy proposals or propositions on their website, which will make it easier for policy analysts to be able to now understand the position that they are coming from, so that we can also do what? Engage to make the policy more useful for us.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Peter N.T. He's Executive Director, Institute for Educational Studies. Well, moving on, a police officer filmed brutally assaulting a journalist during the chaotic Aboma North parliamentary rerun has been interdicted and now faces criminal charges. The Accra Regional Police Command confirmed this in a statement. Head of Public Affairs for the Accra Region, Superintendent Juliana Obeng, said the police is working to identify all individuals involved in the violent incident in the video footage they've received. Now, James Aveji joins me with more from the police statement. James, what more does the statement say?
So the statement categorizes three key things. You remember that when the Minister for Interior addressed the media in the Government Accountability press conference on Wednesday, he indicated that, or Tuesday, he indicated that he had forwarded all documents or visuals that he has received so far in relation to the Aboma North election rerun to the Ghana Police Services IGP for review and action being taken. The police statement says that as of yesterday, they've been able to review all of the video documents that they have laid their hands on, and have identified a number of suspects that they will be going after. Then, in the case of the assault on journalists, especially that of the GH1 reporter who was assaulted by a police officer, the police statement said they have, the last time they issued a statement on that, they said they have interdicted him for internal processes to begin. From this statement, as of yesterday, the police said they have, raised some criminal charges against him. The statement has not been specific on what exact charges they have brought up against him, but they said he's facing criminal charges. It is unclear when he'll be put before court to answer questions on that. But in all, the police said, yes, they have finished looking at the document. And so as we speak, they should be effecting some arrest on the individuals involved, as well as the officer in charge, who we have identified to be the commander of our Denton Police Command, who was earlier a commander for the Aklao division and then moved to Accra, should be facing the law courts to answer questions on criminal charges that the Ghana Police Service may bring against him.
Thank you, James Aveji. Now, Ghana's Mpox case count has risen to 218 after the Ghana Health Service confirmed 21 new cases. In the Ahafo region, 1 confirmed case has been recorded. There are also 12 suspected cases, prompting an urgent response from the Regional Health Directorate and the Regional Coordinating Council. They join us for a conversation. And this morning, I have with me Alfred Abwaje, PRO of the Ahafo Regional Coordinating Council, joining us on this Mpox conversation. We're grateful for your time, Mr. Abwaje.
Thank you for having me.
So, briefly explain to us what the situation is in your region.
Yeah, as you just stated, it's true that a case has been reported with regard to the Mpox, and the Regional Health Directorate was in the office of the Regional Minister to brief her about the situation, what we've done so far about it, some of the individuals who have had contact with individuals who had the disease, who are still being traced, and the necessary medical treatment being applied to them. And so what the minister did was that immediately she sent a message to the various health directories and the directors and the health institutions and the education directories and health education institutions in the various constituencies for the purposes of sensitizing the individuals who are within their care so they can take precautionary measures in order to prevent the disease from being spread to other areas. And so far, it is true, yes, a case has been reported here. Certain individuals who had contact with the individual who had the disease the process is being going on to get them raised, identified, and then the necessary medical procedure be applied to them.
So specifically, which areas in the region have recorded cases?
Yeah, it's in the regional capital, which is Goso, which is within the Aboma North constituency.
And in the contact tracing, do we know where this person contracted it from?
Actually, the health directorate, she was briefing the regional minister in the meeting, actually did not make that point. So when I was invited by your correspondent to speak on this issue, I tried to reach up to her so that she can give me specific matters as you just mentioned, but I couldn't get her. But the most important thing is that a case has been recorded in the Ahafo region, so it is incumbent on each individual to be careful about how they go about their daily activity.
So what's interesting is this, we usually hear that the cases are steadily rising. Until today, we didn't know specifically which areas, with the exception of Goso right now. But how then are we ensuring that people are adhering to certain protocols as not to spread this disease? Because since it started, it's gradually escalating. What measures have been put in place to prevent a full-blown infection?
Yes, thank you very much. As I said earlier on, the regional minister has directed directors of the health facilities in the various constituencies, and then to the MDCs in the various constituencies, and then to the head of education in the various constituencies to engage in an effective and proactive sensitization and education to the people who are under their influence so that they can take into consideration the precautionary measures such as washing of hands with running water and then soap, and then also making sure that food that you eat, especially bush meat that are being consumed, will be properly boiled. And so touching people, just like the most important, the regional minister said they should go back to the precautionary measures that were put in place during the COVID-19. It's the measures just as was given to the Ghanaian people during the episode of the COVID-19 are the same measures that the regional ministers encouraged the various health institutions to educate the people under their influence to abide by. So it's almost like nothing new was being told them, just like the precautionary measures that was taken during the COVID-19 episode are the same measures that individuals are supposed to go to. And then also, information was given to the immigration officials to tighten border surveillance or if you like, border control to make sure that people who enter inside do not show signs of the mpox. And so, therefore, if they're able to identify anybody who shows signs of mpox, immediate medical attention should be given to the individual.
Right. Right. Thank you very much for that update there. Meanwhile, government has released more than 460 million Ghana cedis to the Ministry of Health to support the training allowances of 120,000 nursing students across the country. This payment covers a 6-month period. And according to the ministry, there's a statement that's coming from there, and it says it can confirm that an amount of 462 million has been disbursed to support the training allowances of 120,000 nursing students. And the payment, which covers a 6-month period, forms part of a broader initiative by government to provide financial support to students in nursing training colleges. The allowance, which was a key commitment made by His Excellency John Mahama during the recent electioneering campaign, has now been fulfilled, with payments scheduled from today and continue until today, as in it started yesterday. Now, in other stories, President John Mahama is commending the overlord of the Mrugu kingdom for his willingness to make concessions to help bring an end to the protracted Boko conflict. But we'll come to that shortly. Joining us now is the Public Relations Officer of the Health Ministry, Tony Goodman. We're grateful for your time, Tony. Unfortunately, we lost Tony Goodman there. But let's get back to President John Mahama commending the overlord of the Mrugu kingdom for his willingness to make concessions to help bring an end to the protracted Boko conflict. Speaking at the Jubilee House during a visit by high-powered delegation from Nairi, the president revealed that he had earlier met with the Asantehene, where he shared the fruitful cooperation he has received from the overlord of Mrugu in the ongoing efforts to find a lasting solution to the conflict. Presidential Affairs Correspondent Maxwell Apogba reports.
The delegation comprised various sub-chiefs from the Mrugu kingdom. A representative of the Nairi who delivered a speech on his behalf lauded President Mahama's peace-building efforts and his commitment to the development of the Northeast region.
We are deeply inspired by your government's focus on peace and security, recognizing that without peace, our dreams of development will remain elusive. Your resolve to strengthen our national peace infrastructure, and support traditional solutions to conflict, especially in the Boko conflict, is commendable and assuring. The chiefs and people of Mrugu are particularly grateful for the many projects you have added to our region under the big push.
President John Mahama expressed deep concern over the deteriorating security situation in the area. He praised the overlord of the Mrugu kingdom for demonstrating leadership and a willingness to make compromises in the pursuit of lasting peace in the Boko conflict.
Boko, which has always been a booming and prosperous commercial center, is now a pale shadow of itself. Nobody is happy about this situation. Many professionals have fled the area, and public service workers are refusing to be posted to Boko. I was with His Royal Majesty Nana Osei Tutu II 2 days ago, and he briefed me on the cooperation you have given him in finding a final traditional solution to the conflict. I commend you for the concessions you are willing to make in order to see lasting peace in Boko. I take this opportunity to humbly urge all stakeholders to speed up the mediation process so that peace can return to Boko in order that residents can return to their normal lives as soon as possible.
President Mahama promised that a public university will be constructed in the Northeast region to increase access to tertiary education and support regional growth. The president also outlined plans to construct a modern rice mill in the region.
I'm pleased to reaffirm that my government is actively working on the modalities for the establishment of a public university in the Northeast region of our country. On our manifesto promise, we shall also build a modern regional hospital in the Northeast region. We want Yagaba Fumbisi area to become the hub of rice production in Ghana. And so a modern rice mill is to be built at Jadema. What I can't do, Jadema. A modern rice mill is to be built there to buy and process all the rice that is produced overseas for processing. And the rice will be bought by the National Buffer Stock Company and supplied to our schools and hospitals. And so the farmers will have a ready market.
Our Chief of Staff Julius Deborah has reminded board members of institutions that a board membership is not merely about prestige, but more importantly about providing clear direction and oversight. At the presidency during a courtesy call by the Boardroom Governance Institute, he emphasized that without strategic direction, institutions risk collapsing.
Making people understand that if you are made members of a board, it's not just the prestige of being there, but seeing yourself as the originators of the sources of the institution. Because what management does usually is premise or based on the directions given by the board. And so if members of a particular board are not so familiar with that emboldening power to give direction to the institution will crumble. And so as a nation, once in a while, we have to remind ourselves, what are we doing right and what are we doing wrong? President Mahama intends that all the things that we've been doing, where we feel we are relaxing, we should reinvigorate it. And so we are mindful that various institutions are having orientation programs for their board members. But we encourage a lot of people to take part in this national summit where synergies will be drawn, where good lessons will be learned, where others will share international good practices, which will enable you run your board effectively.
Get the latest on the results of the National Science and Math Quiz. We start with Adobia Sari from the Eastern Region. Adobia, what's happening there? I can hear you now.
So it's still about the Eastern Regional Championship. Yesterday, some schools made it through. And today, the first contest is underway. You have every girls senior high, Benya Krobo, Equatia Presby, Friaso, and Oda senior high. They are fighting for the first slot of the day. Yesterday, Echo School managed to emerge winner of their contest. So Pope John will be fighting in the regional championship tomorrow, God willing. There's KSTS defending champions. They also made it through. But it wasn't easy for them because Yilo Krobo and Kweutafu gave them a run for their money. But the second contest was soft for St. Peter's. They led in round 1 to round 4. You could tell that the contest was very easy for them. However, when I spoke to them after the contest, they were still not satisfied. They were expecting to win with about 70-something points, but they won with 55 points, which was the highest of the day. Then there was Ghana Secondary, Ghana Senior High Koforidua, which is a seeded school. But they were overtaken by Oforipeni, and so they were kicked out. So Oforipeni has rather qualified to fight in the contest tomorrow. And the other school which also won yesterday's contest was Nifa Senior High. They beat Adonte and Oyoko Methodist and Krobo Girls. They beat Adonte, which is a seeded school. And so they have made it to tomorrow's contest. So we are saying about, we have 5 schools already secured their slots. We'll have 3 contests today. So when the 3 winners win, they'll join the winners from yesterday. So 8 schools will fight for tomorrow's championship title.
All right. Thank you very much, Adobe Asari. Let's go to Frimpong Collins in the northern region. Frimpong, what's happening there? Okweapemine, what's happening there?
Mame, having the final for the North Zone over here. Parents, they are having a contest with the semi-final, and we are having Ghana Senior High School as well as Tamale Islamic Science and teachers also competing, as well as the Northern School of Business, all are competing. The first 2 contests, the first 2 rounds have come to an end, and it looks like Ghana Senior High School are in the quarter, followed by Islamic Senior High School also in there. So, like President Mahama and John Mahama, Ghana Senior High School will be qualifying for the final. And you know that they are carrying the zonal champions. Initially, they were actually kicked out and they came in because a school from that. So they had the opportunity and they have made the most of it and they have qualified for the likely to qualify for the zonal final. Then afterwards, we are going to have Dr. Mrugu Senior High School, Senior High School, which is a teacher school. Yesterday they came in and they qualified for one sport, and the can imagine the atmosphere, everything over here. They will also be competing with the likes of Bogakanga Senior High School, the Cape Board from the Upper East region, as well as another also in the Tertiary. Samsung Senior High School yesterday were knocked out from the championship. And one sad thing is that Boku Senior High Technical School during the Upper East qualifiers qualified for the zonal championship. But yesterday, we were expected to come and compete for a place in the final, but we did some sort of tensions in the Boku entries where allegedly about 6 people have died. So for them, they put out a zonal championship. So they are expecting 2 schools to win the 2 contests, which I think the Senior High School and Ghana Senior High School to make it to the final, and also the best runner-up will join them. And at the end of the day, we'll be having the finals and we'll get to know who wins the contest for the zonal championship.
All right.
Ghana Senior High School are in the comfortable that they are likely to go to the final.
Thank you, Collins Frimpong in the northern region with the update of the National Science and Math Quiz. To other stories now, imagine sharing a tiny wooden room with strangers just to afford rent. That's a reality for Judith, Diana and Martha, 3 young women co-living in Jamestown who split 2,800 cedis a month to keep a roof over their heads. Florence Ahodagbe has more in the Habitat series.
It's Saturday morning in here at Palladium, Jamestown. And for once, these young women haven't gone to work. Instead, they are scrubbing the floor and straightening their little shared space. Their only retreat in a city that demands too much and gives too little.
My full name is Juliet. I just come here to Warsaw.
My name is Diana. I come from Kumasi.
My name is Martha Safo. I come from Kumasi.
This single wooden room is home to Judith, Dinah, and Martha. Strangers brought together by hardship, now co-tenants trying to make ends meet.
I came here to sell to make some small money so that I can take care of my younger brothers. The place I came from, the Eastern region, there is no one there. It's like only my grandmom, and my grandmom dead, so I have to come here.
Now, Judith lives with 2 other young women, all traders, all with stories of survival. Their rent is 2,800 Ghana cedis a month. They split it to keep a roof over their heads.
At first it was 5, yeah. And other one moved to this side, we left it 3. Then I and Martha were shared to pay the rent, 2.8, and the landlord take it 3 months or 2 months, so you have to pay it every 2 months or 3 months.
Each of us contributes 70 cedis every week. At the end of the month, we use it to pay the rent. It's hard. I don't make good sales every day. Sometimes I don't even earn 100 cedis, and whatever I make, I have to split with my boss. I also pay 25 cedis for my child's school feeding. So by the end of the day, there is nothing left to save or contribute towards rent and light bills.
The rent is high. Paying 280 Ghana cedis a month is no small amount, but we manage.
Like, it's not easy. If you calculate it in the year, it's a whole lot of money. By now, you don't have any place to go, so you have to pay small like that.
Managing, though, comes with compromise. Personal space is limited.
The reason I am not happy is, like, how you want to do your things, no. If you do it in that way, the other one will come and spoil everything. Then we mess up, so I'm not happy with that.
Live alone, you can arrange your things the way you want. But with co-living, things often feel disorganized.
Even bathing and using the toilet is a shared struggle. Their building's bathhouse is often locked because outsiders misuse it. That forces them to rely on public facilities.
The first at the bathhouse, the landlord, she said people from outside come and urinate here, and they mess up at that place. So he get angry and lock it. After they lock it, we all went to public bathhouse and bath.
It's between 1 cedi 50 pesos and 2 cedis to use the public bath, and you also have to pay to use the toilet. So if you have a running stomach, just know you will end up spending a lot.
They each hustle to make it work. Dinah sells cooked maize. So does Martha. Judith is saving, hoping for something better.
I
wanted to become a nurse or a wedding planner, but getting pregnant shattered those dreams. Now I've decided to invest everything in my child. But since my husband died, life has become more difficult.
I'm adding some money, doing some susu, so if I get the money plenty, then I will leave this place.
By night, the noise fades, but the dreams do not. They sleep side by side under one roof, carrying different burdens and a shared hope for a better future. In Accra's harsh housing reality, co-living is not a choice. It is survival. For these young women, sharing space means sharing the weight of life and rent. Florence Ahodagbe, Joy News, Palladium, Jamestown.
You're watching Joy News Desk. We'll take a break and return with business.
Welcome back to Business here on News Desk. My name is Winston Taki, and out to our first business story. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Siama, has called on individuals and businesses to strengthen their confidence in the Ghana cedi as a reliable medium of exchange. Speaking at the APSA UPSA Law School quarterly roundtable in Accra, Dr. Siama expressed concern over the growing incident of currency counterfeiting and urged the public to be vigilant. He encouraged citizens to report any suspected cases of counterfeiting to the appropriate authorities.
The strength of a currency is not determined only by central banks or financial markets. It is determined by the people who use it, the people who protect it, and the people who believe in it. And recently, I heard about a story somebody was telling me somewhere within Accra where you find these currency counterfeiters. People in the area know about this, and yet they are not concerned. And so when we allow such things to thrive in society, why then are we surprised that the currency doesn't have worth? If you find anyone engaging in currency counterfeiting, whether the cedi, the dollar, or whichever one, please, my phone number is all over the place. Everyone knows my phone number. Send me a WhatsApp. I'm told a lot of foreigners are involved in that, right? They are counterfeiting Kwame Nkrumah's cedi. The cedi he introduced, they are counterfeiting it. They are destroying it.
Now, away from that, the Securities and Exchange Commission has rolled out its regional investor education campaign, Time with the SEC in the Volta region, marking a strategic expansion of its mission to strengthen public understanding of the capital markets across the country. Here's more.
From the beginning of the year, the Ministry of Finance has been very helpful in the payment of contributions for Senate. At the beginning point of the year, there were arrears from October last year. Those arrears have been cleared by government. From January to date, government has been on track with their payments to Senate. And I would want to commend the Finance Minister and his team for a good job well done. We are tracking well with some of the things that we sought to do. One of the things that we sought to do was to expand coverage. And we started the year by delivering 2 new branches for Senate. We also said we're going to deliver a virtual branch by the end of September. Again, part of the broader strategy to expand coverage. We've also announced today that we are in partnerships with banks to deliver what we call co-location. And we are pretty confident that that enables us to scale from the current 53 branches to about 100 touch points. Because we've identified banks, the conversations are ongoing, the systems are being put in place so that we can then provide SNES services at the banking halls of some of these banks. And that will scale up the contact points from about 53 today to about 100 before the end of the year.
That was the CEO of SNET emphasizing on opening virtual branches across the country to ensure access to proper services. That's all for business. My name is Winston Taki. Over to Momiesi.
Thank you, Winston, for business updates, and that's how we draw the curtain. But before then, the Asokoro Municipal Assembly is gravely concerned over the proliferation of the illegal facilities administering health services to residents in the Asawase community. In a recent joint police swoop in the deep slum in the Ashanti region, a clinic purported to be conducting illegal abortions was uncovered with 2 persons arrested for operating unlicensed drugstores. The local assembly is renewing its efforts to clamp down on unlicensed drugstores and illegal operations of health facilities in the municipality. Emmanuel Bright-Kweku reports.
The Asawase Enclave is one of the known hubs for illegal drug activities in the Ashanti region. Dotted within the wooden makeshift slum are local drugstores operating as over-the-counter licensed shops selling both orthodox and traditional medicines. In a later swoop by the local assembly, it was uncovered a number of these medicine shops operated without due license. The Joint Security Task Force seized orthodox medicines from shops and arrested at least 2 persons for operating without license. A clinic alleged to be involved in abortion was uncovered in the vicinity. Ben Abdallah is the MC for Asokore Mampong.
The search that was conducted over there brought out a few illicit treats ongoing over there. There is, in fact, an operational pharmacy there, an illegal one, of course. There is also a clinic that is running there. And our intel is that they even do illegal abortions over there. And this is a serious health threat to our youth and our community. And so we have seized some of the drugs for further examination. a lot of illicit use of drugs also among the youth over there.
Days after the exercise, I have come to the vicinity to interact with some local drugstore operators. Adamu, not his real name, was arrested in the recent raid in the area. His shop is now almost empty after the 3,000 cedis worth of orthodox medicines he sold were seized by the task force.
But me only and I'm here. So I'm going to say, what your director has said, or like, me tongue abortion. But I'm saying also, come on, who are my.
When they searched my drugs, they couldn't find anything used for abortion. I can't sell these drugs. I've been operating the shop for 3 years.
So no, I got 3 years now. But drugs no there. Maybe go for drugs no. I got 4 months now.
He confirms not operating with orthodox medicine license, but he has that of the herbal medicines. He says the slow market in the sale of herbal drugs prompted his action to venture into orthodox medicines.
Yes. And I mean, come. Honestly, when I am over and and I'm a farmer, so I'm for week at Cranberry and also there.
Yes, I do not have license to sell orthodox medicines, but the slow sale of traditional ones prompted me to venture into the orthodox drugs.
Because I don't know.
Their operations without regulatory approval is raising grave public health and safety concerns. The local assembly is committed to combating drug abuse and related criminal activities in the municipality, reported to be the hotspot for illegal drug activities. Ben Abdallah again.
It certainly will not end today. I mean, this is a canker that cannot be taken out in a day. It requires measures that are comprehensive enough, measures that are long-lasting, measures that will ensure that there is no repeat or recurrence of that.
For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Pratt-Kweku.
And that's a wrap for Joy News Desk this week. We'll be back next week, and as always, I've been clothed by Clothing Palace inside Accra near Ilava. You can get your executive clothing from that place. See you again next week.